I'm head football coach at Marshall High School, a 5A school in Texas. And when I got the head coaching job 3 years ago, Marshall was 1-9. First year we were 3-8, and one of the very first things that we saw that we talked about we had to improve was our tackling. We were just very, very bad tacklers, and so we went through and just started looking for companies and products that we thought could help us tackle. Didn't find a whole lot out there on the market, besides the big, huge things that you can't move around. They're not very mobile. And then we came across Shadowman in the summer of 2015, and really loved the product. Was very interested in it, and got some to work on. And again, it was one of the best decisions and one of the best things that we did this past year. Went from a defense that didn't have any shutouts the first 3 years and had 2 shutouts this past year, back-to-back weeks against 2 very good football teams, and had 2 others where we held teams less than 10 yards a game. My first 2 years we averaged missing 12 to 15 tackles a game. This past year we missed less than 5 tackles a game, and I really believe it was the Shadowman that really helped us do that.
The old adage, tackle better and win more games. It sounds like you guys are living proof of that. Tackle better,
you create more turnovers when you tackle better. We went from, our turnover margin went from +9 the year before to we were +26 this year. So I think if you tackle better, you get more people around the ball, good things happen.
Let's talk a little bit about that. The new innovation of the arms that we just showed you. Sounds like that's something you guys are very interested in regarding ball destruction. Tell us how you plan to put those to use.
Yeah, definitely going to have them around our defensive line guys because we see so many opportunities with so many people throwing the football nowadays and quarterbacks exposed. Anytime you can get a defensive lineman back there and have an opportunity, because the person that does the least ball handling drills are the quarterback. So we always think that if we can tackle a quarterback, anytime you tackle a quarterback, you got a chance for a turnover. And so we'll definitely use these with our defensive linemen to create hopefully some turnovers with quarterbacks. And then obviously with the ball tuck, we're going to try to obviously work on a guy wrapping them up and then another guy stripping it out.
We'll look forward to that update in the following year.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about, just in terms of the work your players were able to get in with respect to reps and quantity. How did that work out in your program?
Yeah, that talked about that mobility of, again, I looked for 2 years for something that was mobile that you could use, that wasn't, you could move around on your practice field to try to get more people involved, just not defensive backs, defensive linemen, linebackers, and we thought that Shadowman was great for that. We were able to use it all over the field, get it in multiple drills, multiple individual stations, and so I'm just very, very happy with the product and how good it did for us tackling at every position, not just at the linebacker position, but defensive backs, defensive linemen, our entire defense just greatly improved tackling.
Efficiencies in the practice, did you feel as though you guys were able to get more work in the same amount of time versus other more traditional training methods?
Yeah, we do a tackling circuit. We opened up every day actually, and it allowed us to, because it is mobile, we can move it around. We took the first 10-15 minutes every day, Monday and Tuesday of practice, working on tackling. We really think, obviously, as the stats proved, we got to be better tacklers because we were able to get. And I talk to our kids all the time, you only get better by doing in life. You don't get better by watching. And so you've got to get reps at tackling. And I know that's the thing as a head coach that we really struggle with as a head coach is you don't want to go out there and tackle your best running back. You don't want to tackle your guys for 15 minutes because every time you do that, you give somebody an opportunity to get hurt every time you do that. And so with the Shadowman, obviously, that takes a lot of that second guessing or that worrying about having to get somebody hurt. We got nobody injured at all, and so it's a way to avoid concussions, it's a way to avoid injuries, and again, we were just really happy with the product.
As a company, we're trying to stress smarter practice strategies. It sounds like you guys really kind of tapped into that in terms of a smarter, more efficient way to get your practices handled. Talking about that, the health of your program. Tell us how that impacted at the end of the season, attrition in a team. Usually the healthier program at the end is going to have more success because their better players are available.
Right. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how your players were available.
You're playing in the Texas high school football playoffs. You're playing quality football teams, and you don't want to be playing with your second and third linebackers and second and third defensive backs. And we actually did that 2 years ago and got beat pretty handily in a second-round playoff game because we were having to play with JV linebackers and JV defensive backs because they'd gotten banged up and injured. Not during practice, but we just thought that, the more that you can pull off a contact, especially during practice against each other, especially late in the year, like you're saying, as you get into the playoffs, you want to keep your legs fresh. You want to avoid those injuries, especially in practice, and we've been able to fortunately do that the last couple of years. And with the Shadowman, it greatly improves your odds of not getting somebody hurt in practice.
Great. We showed you, introduced you to a couple of new accessories for 2016, and do you feel as though you might be able to put to use some of the accessories on all sides of the ball? You'd look to maybe integrate Shadowman into your offense as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be something that we're going to be able to use with our receivers. We do a lot of cut blocking with our receivers. I think we're going to be able to use the Shadowman as far as how we teach cut blocking. And we cut on the backside of our stretch and backside zone plays with our backside linemen, try to get up to those linebackers and get them cut down. And so I just think there's a number of ways other than just defensive tackling that we're going to be able to incorporate this into our skills.
Fantastic. Sounds like you like the versatility of the product.
Love the product.
Lastly, you said that you did a lot of research and then you came upon and realized that Shadowman was out there and made a decision. What would you say to some coaches that have either seen this at clinics multiple times and have been on the fence, or seeing it for the first time that are considering this as something to institute in their program?
First off, in small East Texas town, the budget, we don't have a huge budget. We're not a Metroplex school. We don't have $1 million budget for athletics. We're very, very small budget. So not only was I watching for I was watching for products that were flexible and we could use, but I also had a budget that I had to be able to get under. And so first off, I'm going to tell you the budget and the price is very, very good. And that was the first thing that attracted me to it. And then obviously the reps and watching it and the product being used and how it's transferred to games, and I really believe it helped us win football games. And that's the ultimate deal in coaching, because you like to keep your job and I like to keep my paycheck. And I really think Shadowman helped us do that this past year. It helped us win. Like I said, we went from 3-8 to 11-2 in 2 seasons.
Well, congratulations, Coach. We're proud and honored to be a part of your program and look forward to continuing a very prosperous relationship. Can't wait to hear the new report in 2016.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all's product. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Y'all have a great one.
Thanks. Okay, that was a great warm-up. Let's do it live now. Thanks, Coach.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you.